Well, good morning, everybody. This is Richard Wishart on Camsar. So welcome to the Camsar broadcast this morning. It's 9 o'clock. It's sunny Cambridgeshire this morning. And today I'm going to be talking about outside broadcasting on Periscope. So that's the subject. It's a sort of topic based today, really, rather than networking based. But what I'm going to talk about is about outside broadcasting. And just to give you a little, while people are joining the scope, just to give you a bit of a taster, probably the most extreme Periscope networking that I've seen is a guy in Australia takes his Periscope out into the surf with him, and this is him actually surfing on Periscope, and it's brilliant. It's really, really good. But this is probably the most extreme form of outside broadcast. But I'm going to talk about outside broadcasting in general. And that it's not just a inside-outside binary choice. It's actually it's a degrees of outside. So I'm going to try and take you through that and actually help you through the transition from inside broadcast to outside broadcast. And we'll actually do a transition today. We'll move from inside and we'll take it outside. So let's welcome to Camsar. If you want to say who you are and where you come from, that would be quite useful for me as a broadcaster. Give me some hearts as well to show that there's somebody watching. Yesterday we had about 100 people on the scope, but yesterday it was a bit more of a rant from me. So in other words, hi Marvin. So yesterday was I was going on about STEM, and it's quite a subject I'm very passionate about. So it was a bit more of a rant from my side. Today I want to try and get it a bit more interactive. I want to be talking about outside broadcasting. So outside broadcasting, just as people join, this is a guy that I was following yesterday. I followed him now for a couple of days. I was looking up to try and find his name, couldn't find it. But if he comes on my scope today, I'll send out a note to my followers on Periscope. So if you're following me on Periscope, I'll send out a note to you to say when he's on and when he's scoping. But for me, this was probably the ultimate in outside broadcast. So this guy is on the surfboard. He's in Australia. He's in the big surf, and this is him taking a picture of people starting off in a big wave, and he's about to join it. So he does the whole thing live on Periscope. On the wave, under the water, the whole thing. And this is probably the most ultimate. It's in Australia. It's in exactly where I don't know, but somewhere in Australia. There's a guy who actually takes his Periscope camera or his tablet out with him when he's surfing. I think he just has it in a poly bag. Clearly, he's not standing up. Which would be a bit of a challenge, but he's actually conducting a scope, and quite a good scope. It's very relaxed. There's lots of chats going on. He's responding to all the comments, but he's doing it in the water. He's doing it while he's surfing. So it just shows you that if you actually get your mojo together and you've got your mind in the right place, it's not just about technology, it's about mindset, then you can outside broadcast, and you can outside broadcast in fairly extreme conditions. So what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show you the transition from inside broadcast to outside broadcast. So the last couple of, when I was doing my experimentation early on Periscope, I was doing a lot of outside broadcasts. This week I've probably gone more inside. I think probably something to do with the weather. It's been pretty horrible, wet, windy weather here. So I've sort of decamped back inside. But I also decamped back inside for another reason. I wanted to get more control over my scope. I wanted to concentrate on production and all that sort of stuff inside. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do the transition for you. I'm going to transition from inside broadcast to outside broadcast. But as I say, it's not a binary choice. It's not inside or outside. There's a whole range of different. It's a continuum, really. And what I showed you earlier with the guy surfing, that's probably the most extreme that I've seen. If you've seen more extreme, then please let me know, because I'd love to hear. But you can actually go from safe inside to fairly safe outside to less safe outside to extreme outside. So it's a continuum, and you can. Oh, hi Mervyn, you're off to the gym. Well, that's good. What sort of? You're off to Unit Fitness. So Mervyn's son is Rob. He's on Periscope as well, and he runs a gym in Godmanchester, Unit Fitness, and he's a ex-Royal Marine Commando. So his fitness regime is fairly extreme. And Mervyn, you need to get your son up on Rob up on Periscope in the gym. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Rob putting his old man through some exercises. I think that would be quite fun. We'd like to see that, Mervyn. If you do that, I'll feature it. Okay. So this is me, Richard. This is this is Richard Wisher on Camsar in Cambridgeshire, connecting Cambridgeshire business with the world. We've just connected Unit Fitness, Mervyn's son's gym in Godmanchester, up with Rob is on Periscope, and Rob and his mate. It's one of the other guys that runs his partner in the Unit Fitness. They did a little trick just before Christmas, which was they did YouTube videos of as elves and Father Christmases doing fitness all around Huntingdon. Rob and Josh, that's right, Rob and Josh. So what would be really good, Mervyn, is to get Rob and Josh to start doing periscopes, fitness periscopes. Humorous maybe, or serious. There's a lot of serious fitness going on down there. But let's why not get them on? If you want, I'll come down and scope them. I'll do it as an outside broadcast. There you go. Can't say fairer than that. Okay, good. So, as I say, it's... let me just turn the camera around. I'll just talk to you directly for a second. So this is me. This is Richard Wishart in my inside studio. And shortly I'll be moving to my outside studio to give you an idea of the differences. There's a lot of people now on Periscope. I get a lot of, in fact, I did a sort of policy really. I opened it up quite widely to sort of see what people were doing. I probably now need to shut it down a little, just a tad, to sort of try and make some choices about what I want to watch and who I want to connect with. So I'm probably less now in terms of fully open, but I need to now start being a bit more selective. So fully open at the moment, following about 1,000 people, which is extreme. And I've got about 250 people following me, which is really good. So, inside versus outside broadcast. Well, you've got to first of all think, of those 1,000 people that I'm following, when you look down through them, there's not that many people broadcasting. So maybe out of that 1,000, there's maybe 100, 80 to 100 people broadcasting. So you do have this big divergence between, and you got to try and work it out for yourself. But people on Periscope, some people are followers, watchers, and some people are broadcasters. And it's a pretty good idea to try. I wish we could somehow categorize them in some way, because they're quite different. Those two audiences are quite different. Clearly, we want to get the watchers to start broadcasting. It'd make more fun for us all, and it would actually be valuable for the Periscope as a concept, as a strategy. But at the moment, there's a smaller number of people broadcasting, and there's some people who are broadcasting at their desks, but haven't yet moved outside. So that's what I'm trying to cover today. So it's this transition from being on Periscope to being a broadcaster on Periscope, quite different skills, different mindset, different head that you've got to have to do that. And then when you start broadcasting in a safe environment, first of all, and by safe I mean with good connectivity, in control of the elements, in control of what you're doing, and the production values and the direction, and then taking it outside where you start hitting things that you cannot control. And then when you get into the surf, well, that's a completely different perspective. So let's just have a quick, I'll put you back onto the front-facing camera, and then we'll do our transition. So back onto the front-facing camera. My screen has timed out. There we go. So this is my inside environment. So let me show you around. So we got some big lights. I've got lots of lights on. It's sunny outside, but inside you've got to get lots of lights on the subject. I have my big screen, so I use that to actually put up the header for my presentation. This is my computing environment. So on my desk here, as you can see, I've got a Chromebox, a large HD television, keyboard, mouse, remote control, and lots of wires. Got an HD cam on top, camera microphone on top, and I use it for Hangouts, Google Hangouts. And my computer is this Chromebox on the desk, and that's soon to be replaced by a Chromebit. So it will be the full functionality and technology in that little box will soon be replaced by a Chromebit stick that I will stick into the back of the television. What I also do is when I'm broadcasting, I'm not doing it today, but I have my Periscope stand. There's a few technical issues with that, but that's the Periscope stand. And now what I'll do is when you're seeing me, this is where I'm sitting. So I've got lights on all over the place. You've got, that's quite bright in here. You've got to raise the ambient light, and you've got to actually, got to show yourself. One of the other things I've got is a clip-on microphone to sort of aid with the sound. Sound's not particularly an issue inside, but it does become an issue when you move outside. So let's move out. So this is the door to my office, and this is now we're now going outside, and this is my outer office. So things start changing when you do this. You are now in the open air. You're now in the world outside your office, where you don't have quite the same control. So here's me now sitting at my outside desk, looking at my plants and looking a little bit at the green trees, the sunshine, the tortoise, the buddleia bush. And what happens when you're outside is that you suddenly get your lighting is no longer controlled by you. So the lighting now is provided by someone else who's a bit fickle. Today it's quite good. But what you then get is you get glare on your screen. So I can still see it because of where I am. I'm sitting under an umbrella at the moment. But you can very quickly lose sight of your screen as the producer of the scope. What you also get is wind noise. And wind noise can be very distracting. You also get, if someone is scoping while they're outside, you no longer have a stand that you can use. So you are holding it like I am at the moment. And obviously, if you're walking around, I'm going to try and scope on one of Nervin's Nordic walking sessions. But you can see as we move around, you get a little bit of judder on the screen. So this is the facing now into the sun a bit. This is the outside desk. The other thing you've got to watch out for that's really quite important is your connectivity. Now what I do is give you a garden shot. Alright, let's bring it back to me so you can see. Okay, so what I've got out here, I've also got a microphone on my tie that Mervyn Foster loaned me to try out, and I'm hoping that will help me a bit with the wind noise that you very often get outside. At the moment it's unprotected, but what I'm also going to do is get a little cover for it as well to help protect against the wind noise. So this is me in my garden office. So I'm trying to show you the transition between scoping at your desk, which is a controlled environment inside, with your lights all set up, your screen all set up, everything set up, so under your control, very much under your control. And then you move into the outside world, so this is just 2 meters, but everything changes. So I've got no control over the lighting, I've got no control over the wind noise, I've got no control over the background noise. As you can probably hear if you listen very quietly, You can hear the road noise in the background, and that's quite a way. That's about a mile away. Someone's got to do some drilling a couple of gardens down, and there's just a lot of noise. So let me just be quiet for a minute, see what you think. So you can there's noise. So this is a really very simple step. So this is going from inside to outside. It's literally a couple of meters, but your control changes dramatically. But I'm still very much this is in a fairly well controlled outside environment. So the tricks are that inside I've got fiber to the street, and I've got dual brand Wi-Fi that gives me, what is it? It's about 60 to 70 megabits per second at my desk over Wi-Fi. Now that Wi-Fi spills out a little bit onto the patio here, so I've still got Wi-Fi, high-speed broadband Wi-Fi, so I'm not getting any breakdown in terms of the signal strength. But as you move away from areas of high signal strength like this, I've also got 4G, which is my 4G mobile data, which is pretty good, but it's patchy. There's places where 4G isn't supported in Cambridgeshire, so it then drops to a 3G signal. And when it drops to a 3G signal, yes, you can still do it, but what you'll get is you start seeing extreme pixelation on the picture. If I hold the picture steady, it will depixelate and you'll see the picture. If I start moving it, it will start pixelating again. That's, you can see you're on the edge of good coverage. And then also with 4G, great outside. When you then go into a building, sometimes the building cuts off the 4G signal. So the 4G signal will degrade quite quickly when you're inside a building. And then you need to be thinking about the Wi-Fi within the building. And then you find that the Wi-Fi is poor, and you find that their broadband connection is poor. So really doing just a very quick scope this morning on outside broadcasting. So I've shown you the transition from at my desk inside, lighting all set up, connectivity all set up, all under my control. I've moved 2 meters outside the door, and there are now other issues that I'm having to deal with, which are I've now got a wasp buzzing around as well. So that's another issue that you have to deal with. So anyway, I just wanted to give you that feel for that. And if I go back to the what I told you about at the very beginning, the guy who does scoping on his surfboard in Australia, that is extreme. That is extreme. So there you've got other issues as well. You've got the water, you've got the movement. But he's very comfortable in his zone. In his head, he's comfortable. And I think that's really what's quite important for anybody that's broadcasting. In your head, you've got to be comfortable. You've got to have your scoping head on. And whichever environment you're in, you have got to be in control of your environment. So you've got to have thought about and dealt with the various issues that might come up in different environments, and be prepared to deal with them. And have your scoping head on. So not just have your business head on, but have your scoping head on. So I hope you've enjoyed this morning. It's not been that interactive, but hopefully it's been a little bit educational. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on my scopes. I'm doing Hashkamzar scopes, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock every morning, connecting Cambridgeshire business with the world, and hopefully building up the Periscope community in Cambridgeshire. So this is Richard Wisher in the garden studio. I hope you've enjoyed the scope. It hasn't been that interactive today. I hope to get it interactive again tomorrow. And just to remind you that on Friday I'm going to be doing a very interactive scope, which is at Alconbury Weald, our local enterprise zone. And Huntingdonshire Business Network, I'm the chairman, will be up at Alconbury Weald from 12:30 to 2:30, and we'll be scoping live and showing you the new enterprise zone. So I hope you can join us for that. Richard Wisher, Kamzar from Cambridgeshire, talking about Cambridgeshire business and signing off. So thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Goodbye.